In 1992, the 90th show that ever 90s the 90s came onto French television. The name of the program was Hélène et les Garçons. So iconic, so legendary, and such a representation and a core memory of a generation that a version of this show with the same actors is still on today. Unfortunately, this is the video where I regretfully have to announce that the current iteration of Hélène et les Garçons, called Les Mystères de l'amour, has been cancelled. So, since 1992, off and on now, Hélène, José, Cricri, Joanna, everybody else have been on our TV screens since 1992, and unfortunately, now we have to say goodbye for now. Although everybody's getting up there, so. But yes, it's a little bit sad. But that doesn't mean we are sad, because we are still on season 1 of the OG, the only Hélène et les Garçons. So today, we are having a look at Season 1 Episode9, A Night Alone. Ooh. So, if you remember, previously on Hélène et les Garçons, we met a young lady called Natalie and another young man called Jimmy. I told you to keep these people in mind because they will come up later. And anyway, episode. We have new incidental music. So, 9 weeks in, it was apparent that Helen and the Boys was going to be a hit. And we start seeing efforts to increase overall quality of the show starting from this point. The writing gets not as bad. And especially the gentleman's musical output is finally produced by actual musicians, sort of, as opposed to live on-set recordings of God knows what. But don't get attached to too much, because the acting does get better, but there are going to be a lot of changes coming up, okay? So we have 2 seasons of Hélène et les Garçons, I think. 2, 3 seasons, maybe more. And after that, we have another show that follows them into their post-university years, but we're not there yet, trust me. We have a new cast member, please don't get attached, okay? So let's get to the start of our episode. Also, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2026. So Kathy is just out of the shower and Helen is studying. Don't get too attached to the studying part. All these people graduate, but you rarely see them open up a book, especially in later seasons. So Kathy and Etienne are going on a weekend date, and she must hurry to get ready. Rochelle Redfield arrives, finally dressed like the goddess she is. She's been shopping. And they mess it up by making Joanna share that her look change is motivated by Cricri's treatment of her. If you remember, we had a love letter addressed to a mysterious woman, and Christian questioning whether he should be with Joanna or not. The reason for his wandering eye and mercurial temperament is all her fault, of course. She must change her whole look and personality, of course. Yes, toxic feminine messaging, but never mind. It's 1992, what can I tell you? When Helen asks how she paid for all that, Joanna reveals that she sold her grandmother's engagement ring. It wasn't as important as her love for Cricri. Anyway, the phone finally rings. Kathy better get a move on. It's time for her date and for their weekend away, not abroad. This is before EasyJet days, so it's just away. For their weekend, Christian and Joanna are going to the seaside. They're going to Deauville, which is a town on the beach, um, on the English British side, on the British Channel side. And it's like an hour and a half, I think, drive. It's been a long time. But they're going there for a romantic dinner. Why is Deauville super romantic? Because of this movie and this song. So, if you're a young person in love in the night.
Alors vous pensez qu'on devrait y aller quand tout va mal?
Pourquoi pas?
Especially, somebody's gonna take you to Deauville so you can run toward each other on the beach and going shabadabada. It's a thing. Okay, Helen doesn't have a date tonight. Nicolas is going to his parents' wedding anniversary dinner, and Helen finds his family too stuffy for her taste. Besides, she has some study. Later that evening, Helen receives a phone call in her improbably luxurious student accommodation. It's José. Dun dun dun. And Helen agrees to meet him for drinks. Casual drinks. So casual, she is changing into a cold shoulder bodycon dress. That's how casual it is. At the serial killer garage where music comes to die, Cricri and Joanna are still not on their way. Christian is fiddling with
I always say I'm a fluffer.
And Joanna tries to get her man to notice her new outfit and her new hairdo. But yeah, Cricri is oblivious. But it was a wind up, and Joanna is surprised that actually he did notice that she has a new dress, and maybe this weekend won't be so bad after all. José and Helen finally meet at the windowless cafe. José starts immediately flirting with Helen, despite their agreement. Here comes our newest named cast member. Don't get too attached. For evening drinks, José orders orange juice. There you go. That's what students drink in the evening. Orange juice. I mean, I'm not saying some people don't, but Helen gets a tomato juice. So personally, when I was in university in France, my diet was rotisserie chicken, pasta, pasta with tuna, with a can of tuna, beer, wine, and cheap vodka. That's where all my calories came from. But apparently, these people have more money than I had, so whatever. We go out and find out what Joanna, Chris, and Christian are doing. As they are about to set off at last, Christian and Joanna bump into Nicolas, who is just arriving at the rehearsal garage. Wasn't he supposed to be at his parents' house? So there's been some delay apparently with his train back to his parents' house. You know, France, strikes, canceled trains, all that jazz. Sounds realistic. And Nicolas explains that he's going to practice on his guitar for a bit, waiting for his next train to come along. He has barely started pretending to play something that Natalie arrives.
Surprise, motherfucker!
They apparently had an appointment of some kind. José is laying it on thick and finally admits that he is really in love with Helen. This scene where we discover that production has bought a dolly track. Ooh, very nice. And they are using that thing. Very nice. Okay, we have new camera equipment. Improvement. Back at the Dexter Den of Doom, Natalie is finally seeing the music space for the first time. If you remember in one of our previous episodes, Natalie and Thérèse tried to ask Christian if they could visit the garage and watch them rehearse. And Christian said that no girls were allowed because it was a distraction. Remember that? Well, here she is now. Just as they sit, Nicolas gives her his best Lothario. Ooh, darling. Christian and Joanna return because she forgot something in the Dexter den, and she catches Natalie and Nicolas in a compromising position. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? Worries Natalie. I don't care. Kiss me, Nicolas replies.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Kathy and Etienne's date was very sporty. They went cycling and they just finished a workout with their clothes on. That's when Christian and Joanna burst in. They've been looking for them all over. Despite swearing he's no gossip,
Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Christian spills the beans pretty much immediately to Etienne. Helen is telling José about the 6 years her family lived in Australia for her dad's job. That is connected to the main show. So, Hélène&lesGarçons is a spin-off of another show called Premiers Baisers, where the heroine is called Justine, and Justine and Hélène are sisters. Okay, so Premiers Baisers takes place in lycée, high school, if you will. Hélène&lesGarçons is university, and then there were other shows for like older ages. Anyway, we will get to those in time. Um, Please like and subscribe so I can make more videos and get monetized. Come on, let's talk about French culture in the 90s. So anyway, Helen went to Australia to live there because of her dad's job, and in turn, José tells her about some new songs he wrote. So Helen agrees to go to the Dexter Den to listen to them. Oh my God. At the body positive gym, the rest of the gang are arguing. The girls feel they should intervene, at least tell Helen what's going on. The lads don't think the Helen Nicola couple is any of their business, and since the pair aren't married, it doesn't really matter. They finally agree to intervene, but leave the planning up to the ladies. So they'll be quiet and not get angry with them, you know, like guys, happy wife, happy life kind of thing. Christian wants no parts of any plan and decides to get up and leave. Kathy is upset with Etienne for not siding with her in this matter and decides to go home as well. Abandoned by their significant others, Joanna and Etienne decide to go to Deauville for lunch since the reservations have been made. And at the Dexter Den, things have cooled off. Nicolas is concerned and pensive. Natalie is feeling insecure.
Shame!
When they return to kissing, Nicolas pushes away. He is thinking of Helen. So, why did he invite her to spend the weekend together? Because Nicolas, he says, wanted to know if his feelings for Helen were true. You go and like snog, because in those days, on TV, you couldn't do much more, especially in a children's program. You go and snog some other lady just to find out if you really like your girlfriend. What kind of backwards mentality is that? Gentlemen, don't do that. Okay, your women will leave you. Well, Now, says Natalie on her way out, Nicolas apologizes for his careless behavior, which is good of him. And just as they are about to kiss each other goodbye, Helen walks in with José. Oh my goodness. But Helen immediately bolts out of there, of course. Nicolas and José are at the windowless cafeteria for post-game commiserations. Wondering if he could still catch a body, Nicolas started flirting with Natalie a few days back. She's hot, she's there, she was game. She was hot, she was there, she was game. That's how she became the side chick. José pours his heart out too. He tells Nicolas how he tried to seduce Helen all day and all evening. But at every turn, she shot him down and insisted that her heart was Nicolas' alone. She really loves you, he says. José offers to try and talk to her for him. Etienne, Joanna, and Cathy arrive at the cafeteria where Cricri is waiting. Turns out, Joanna, Etienne, and Cathy all went to the beach for the weekend. Christian refused to answer the phone, so they left him behind. Mr. I Don't Gossip proceeds to catch the team up on what's happened after they left. Helen hasn't been answering the phone either. That's when the three others arrive. José talked Helen into getting back with Nicolas. And that's where the episode ends. But not the drama, let me tell you, because this is not a Simpson type show where everything reboots to zero. The storylines carry on into future episodes. It's just that in the beginning, the writing was a little bit struggly. So it was a little bit complicated for them to figure out because they didn't know the show was going to be successful. It was just something to fill in Dorothee's full afternoon of programming. I will get to that, Dorothée and everything later on. But they needed 20 minutes to fill in for Dorothée, and they were trying to bring in older young people to watch Club Dorothée. So that's how Hélène and the Garçons got started. So, yeah, see you episode 10. Hey, what's going to happen?